Hi everyone, my name is Jake. I'm a member of the account management team here at Zacks, and today I'm going to be taking you through a tutorial of the due diligence tab specifically for mutual funds. So we're going to be looking at some of the different tabs available and some of the different strategies available to you here within the platform for analyzing a mutual fund. And I'm actually starting in the watch list monitor here because I want to show off a few of the different ways we can get to the security overview page. And now one way to do that is going to be to click into any of the tickers that are hyperlinked. So that's going to be present in a number of the different tools available to you here on the platform. One of those is the watch list monitor. So you can see here the tickers I have available are all hyperlinked. So if you ever see that, whether it's in the watch list monitor, portfolio analysis tab, screening, table builder, you can always click into those tickers to get to the security overview page. So that's one option for getting there. The other option to look at here is going to be in the due diligence search bar in the top left hand corner of the screen. No matter where you are on the platform, you'll always see that search bar in the top left. So we can also find the overview page by searching for the ticker in the top left. You can see it'll pop up when you type it in, and you can just click on that and you will be taken to that overview screen. I'm going to go ahead and click in there now, and we'll get started on the tutorial here. Right now that we are in the overview page, we can take a look at some of the different options available to you here for performing analysis on your mutual fund. First and foremost, we're going to start in the overview tab, which is the first place it'll take you when you do click into that ticker. And then we'll move into some of the other tabs available on the top ribbon here. But to start us off, the overview screen is going to be a great place to go for a lot of the high level metrics available. You'll notice here we've got a description of the fund in the top left. In the top right, you'll notice our current mutual fund ranking for that ticker, as well as some of the mutual fund sub-factor scores. So a great place to go to check on what Zacks' opinion is of this fund. To scroll down here a little bit, you'll see a bunch of interactive charts as well as some other high level metrics. We've got some general information about the fund here in the top left. We've got an asset allocation breakdown. Of course, this is interactive, so if you hover over any of these sections here, you'll get more information. An interactive chart for a return analysis, measuring against the index as well as the category of funds. We've got a sector breakdown. You can, of course, see the percentages broken out here on the right. And if you hover over any of the sections of the pie chart here, you'll see the percentages as well. And then a few other things at the bottom of the screen here. We have the regional exposure, also an interactive chart. A nice risk analysis with some high-level risk metrics for this fund, and a nice style analysis as well, with some more of a breakdown on the returns of the fund. Now moving on here, we are now in the key stats section of the top ribbon here. And the first thing I'll call your attention to here is the research report. You'll notice that linked in the top left-hand corner of the screen. I'm going to go ahead and click in there now. All right, and now that we've got that to load, you'll notice we are in the research report for this mutual fund. This is a great place to go if you are looking for more of a breakdown on why we do have this fund ranked where it's ranked. You can see this one is currently A1, and you'll notice a bunch of information in here, a lot of the driving factors behind that decision to rank it A1. You'll also notice some other high-level metrics kind of similar to that overview page, including a sector allocation, some of the top holdings. So a lot of good high-level information on the fund available here in this research report. All right, now we are back in the key stats section here. You're going to get a lot of high-level metrics here as well, so pretty similar to the overview tab. The one nice thing about this section that I like to call out is all of this information can be exported to Excel. So if you are kind of scrolling through the overview page or the key stats page, you'd like to move any of this information into an Excel document, that is available to you here in the top right-hand corner of the screen. So if I click into options here, you'll notice we have the export to Excel option. All right, moving on now to the Find Similar tab here. I'm going to kind of lump this in with the Compare Funds section. The best way to explain how these are used is to kind of explain the differences between the two. Basically, we start with a table. So the table is going to represent the metrics that we're seeing at the top of the screen here. And then our system is going to generate a list of comparable funds. So this is a nice section to compare funds based on the metrics that are most important to your process here. So of course we have the Zacks rank, share class, monthly net asset value. These can all be switched out and changed, sort of in a makeshift table here. But the main difference between this and the compare funds section is that the find similar is going to generate that list of funds for you. So it's going to take our entire list of covered mutual funds, and we'll work the universe down to an actionable list here. Whereas in the compare funds section, it's going to take a list that you've already created from your watch list monitor, and that's the list you'll compare upon. So that's the key difference between the two. Otherwise, they function very similarly for all intents and purposes. So now we'll get into some of the details of how to functionally use this section. And we'll start by just taking a look at some of the options available to you in the top left here, starting with Open Library. If I click into there, you'll notice this is very similar to a library we see when we're running tables in the Table Builder section. If you are interested in more of a point and click on how all of this is going to work, I would recommend checking out the Table Builder video. This is, for all intents and purposes, its own table builder, but contained to the security overview section. So that video will definitely help you out in using this section. But for our video today, we can take any of the reports that we've saved in using our table builder, or any of the reports our team has created here at Zacks, and adjust some of the metrics that we're seeing and comparing upon. For this tutorial, I'll use the risk factors table here. I'll go ahead and click open. And what you'll notice is all of the metrics that we had here at the top of the screen have changed. So really easy to go in there and adjust the metrics that you're comparing upon using that library in the top left. Now moving on here, everything else you're seeing at the top is going to allow you to change the result of tickers that we're seeing here. So it will change the results based on certain criteria. First and foremost, we have the share class. So I can see that the fund that I'm analyzing right now is an institutional share. So we can change the results list to just institutional shares. And you'll notice that adjusts our search results here. We also have the Zacks rank available to you as well. So if we want to see some of those top ranked funds, we can adjust that criteria as well. So we'll just look at those number one ranked mutual funds here. And that's going to continuously adjust the results that we're seeing here. Now moving on, you'll notice the next drop down available to you is the all drop down. And what that's going to allow us to do is take any of the metrics that we already have loaded into our table here, so any of these risk metrics that we popped in using that table, and adjust our results based on that criteria. So as an example, we use the standard deviation over 3 years as our first adjustment here. If I click into this dropdown, you'll notice a few ways we can constrain the search results here. I'm going to go with the largest 50, And then you'll notice that the buy option is now no longer grayed out. If I click into that, I can now select any of the metrics I have here in my table. Go with standard deviation over 3 years, and that will further confine the search results based on that metric here. Go ahead and sort the results here. And now I've got a nice list where I'm factoring in both the Zacks rank and the share class. And now I've entered in my own metric to further confine the search results here. You'll notice that the next all dropdown is now available, so you can add another metric in here to further work that list down. Let's go with a percentage this time, so largest 10%, and we'll go with the Sharpe ratio. So we'll go by Sharpe ratio, and that will get us down to a nice list of just 4 funds here. So to explain this section at a high level, it's going to allow you to take any of your metrics, any of the metrics you find important, and screen out the entire universe of Zacks mutual funds into a nice actionable list here from which we can, of course, compare based on any of the metrics we have entered here. Or we can go ahead and click into any of these funds here. That'll take us to the overview page for that fund. Last thing to mention here, the options tab in the top right hand corner of the screen. If I click into there, you'll notice that we can export any of the results here to Excel or to PDF format. All right, moving into the compare funds section. If you remember a little bit earlier on the video here, kind of explained it as a different way to compare funds. The main difference between this and the find similar section is we're going to be displaying the tickers from an existing list. So you'll notice here, I've got this this list of tickers here, pulling from all of my mutual fund watch lists. It's quite a large list, but I can select any of the mutual fund watch lists I've gone in and created to constrain my search results. So if we go with any of these, my mutual funds, you'll see that it is constrained to that mutual fund watch list that I've already gone in and created. So it won't take from that entire universe of covered funds. This will allow you to just compare based on an existing list that you've already created. Otherwise, all the functionality should be the exact same as the Find Similar tab. We can, of course, open any of our saved tables here, and we can constrain the search results based on any of the metrics we have entered in here. All right, moving on to the charting section here. I won't go into too much detail here. We should have a dedicated video for the charting tool within Advisor Tools. You'll notice that on the top ribbon here. This will function the exact same way as that dedicated charting section. The nice thing here is you won't have to click into the actual charting screen. You can do everything within this tab here in the Due Diligence tab. So I won't go into too much detail on this, but if you are looking for some more point and click on how to use our charts here, feel free to click over to that charting video. All right, moving on now to the Zacks Research tab. You'll notice this looks very similar. If you'll remember that key stats page, we clicked into the research report in the top left-hand corner of the screen. This is going to be a built-in way to view that same report. So this is the exact same report that we saw from before. It is just kind of built into the ribbon at the top of the screen here. So if you don't want to have to download a PDF to view this information, you can just go ahead and click right into the Zacks Research tab, and all that information will be available to you here. All right, moving on now to the Holdings tab here. This is a section where you can view each holding within the fund. We have a nice nice sorting and filtering feature available and built in here. So you can take any of the metrics you're seeing here at the top, sort and filter. If we want to filter by weight, we can do so. If we want to search for any of the tickers available in that mutual fund, we can do so here, but a nice section to click into if you are looking to see the fund broken down by its holdings. All right, I am now in the data section of the top ribbon here. The best way to use this tool is going to be to export the information that you're seeing here. So any of the information you saw in the overview screen, key stats, find similar, whatever it might be, it's all available here. You notice we have the Zacks rank. We have a section for risk analysis. Basically, you'll notice all of the metrics available for each mutual fund are present here. And the nice benefit here is we do have an options drop down in the top right hand corner of the screen. If you click in there, you'll notice an export to Excel option. So if you are looking to get any of these metrics off the platform, moved into Excel format, this is a great place to do it. You can kind of scroll through the categories available on the left, find the information you're looking for, and then move it off the platform using this options drop down. All right, and the last two sections here that we have available are the news and events tab. You'll see this for equities, ETFs, and mutual funds. There, it's available within every asset type. But basically, this news tab is going to be a nice feed from a number of different providers of recent news stories mentioning the fund that we're analyzing here. So you can go in and click into each news provider. And it doesn't look like this fund in particular has any recent news stories, but a great place to come for that news feed. And the last tab here, the events tab, that's going to be a great collection of economic events as well as earnings reports. You can click in here and enter your ticker in the top right, and that will constrain the calendar here to just that ticker. So a great place to come to view earnings reports as well as general economic events. All right, and that concludes our video here today. We took a look at each of the different sections here on the top ribbon. If you do have any additional questions for us, feel free to reach out to your dedicated account manager as we'd be more than happy to help you out.